We're going to do a tutorial on the course Learn How to Code on Codecademy. We're going to start after signing in, we're going to start with the course Learn How to Code, accessible here. We begin with a little bit of an introduction page as to what is programming. If we scroll down, given a little bit of an interactive display, it says, how good are you at giving instructions? Try and get Cody to draw a square. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to move Cody up, right, down, left, each once. Click run. Hence, square is made, given these instructions or inputs for the computer to execute. A little bit more details given to programming languages. Another display that's interactive. It's asking, use your cursor to draw in the white box in order to see the program draw. I'll draw the number 2. Several images of the number 2 are displayed, and the computer is telling us what was done. Drew the image of total of 8 times, as shown on the interface, and several images of the blue slash. Moving on, clicking next. This page is about reusing values and variables. It's talking about how if we're reusing value, it's going to appear multiple places in the code. Because if you, as a human, were typing that same value, mistakes can be made, which leads to errors, so it's kind of a quality control measure. If this value doesn't have a variable name, giving an example of a particular piece of code with this long number used to make calculations. Instead of writing this number again and again, this value actually be saved to or assigned to a variable called my underscore number. Now the exercise is to assign each variable equal to one of the following. Terrain 1, let's call that grass. See how in the graphical interface a grass texture was applied to each block. Assigned. Each block named Terrain 1 assigned the variable grass. Likewise, Terrain 2, call that rocks. Each block in Terrain 2 is assigned the value or variable rocks, hence the rocks texture. Terrain 3, forest. We see the forest variable, or forest texture applied to each variable. The variable being the terrain, 1, 2, 3, and the values being equal to these 3 textures, I'll call them. Clicking next. Now that we have that, all these variables defined, it's explaining that in many variables, the value actually can easily be changed, just like how you can change a variable value by simply just changing the number. If my underscore number was equal to this long number, it was the operation multiply 2 was performed, or divide by 4 was performed. Simply put, my underscore number would, the value itself would change according to the operator performed. So it's saying that the variable, my underscore number, could also change partially through the program itself. Now it's asking, use the drop-down menus to explore the different options for the board and to create a new game design by swapping out different terrains. Terrain 1, instead of grass, let's do beach. See how it instantly changed to the beach terrain. Terrain 2, instead of rocks, let's do desert. For desert tiles. Finally, terrain 3, instead of forest, we'll do town. Now it's a town terrain. Clicking next. Here, they're just giving a synopsis that to create or declare a variable, it must be given a name. And the name is set equal to a value such as lake. The variable 1 is set to the value of grass. Another example, the instruction is set variable 2 to rocks. I'm going to put it under here, paying attention to syntax. 2 equals forest with the quotation, single quote added to each side, asking it to run. What we would anticipate is, based on the previous examples and exercises, terrain 2, these blocks labeled terrain 2, would be declared with a forest terrain. Let's see if that happens. Indeed, each terrain number 2, or terrain 2, is given the forest. Is signed or declared with a forest terrain. The final prompt, replace the values with other ones you've seen in this lesson. We'll we'll change, how about we'll change all three variables. 1 equals, we'll select from group 1, instead of it being grass, we'll change it to rocks. 2, we'll select from group 2, instead of it being, well, forest, we'll change it to beach. Finally, 3, variable 3, well, instead of it, hasn't been assigned a value yet, let's assign it glacier from group 3. We would expect the one terrain to be with the rocks. The one variable to be with the rocks terrain. 2 variable to be with the beach value. And finally, terrain 3 to be changed or declared with the glacier terrain. Run. And that's exactly what happened. Rocks terrain 1, beach terrain 2, glacier terrain 3. Clicking next. In this lesson, we're doing a review. It's just giving a synopsis of what we just practiced when it comes to variables and how they may be changed or reused in a program very easily. For example, beach, desert, from forest to moon. Click up next. That concludes the first lesson.